My name is Jim Ruland, and I've got dibs on the chicken. Contrary to local legend, I did not invent the mighty Irish tamale. Some scholars say it was a favorite dish of the San Patricios, a battalion of Irish immigrants who'd been conscripted by the U.S. Army to fill the ranks during the Mexican-American War. They defected to the other side once they realized they had more in common with their enemy than the flag they were fighting for. Or maybe it was the food. Or maybe it was the señoritas. But the mighty Irish tamale dates even farther back than that, way, way back to the 6th century, when St. Brendan the Navigator crossed the Atlantic in his curragh, an Irish canoe covered in hides. Brendan sailed to North America 1,000 years before Columbus. Some say he voyaged as far as the Yucatan Peninsula, where he gave the Mayans a gift of corned beef. The locals tucked the meat in a bed of ground cornmeal and wrapped it in husks, just like St. Brendan's canoe. Actually, I made that up. I did invent the mighty Irish tamale, and I will share the recipe with you tonight. But first, a story. My wife is second-generation Mexican. I am third-generation Irish. But we share a lot of cultural traits. Hot tempers, hostility toward the clergy, and an inexplicable fondness for accordion music. When traveling in our partners' homelands, we try to be as open-minded as possible. In Mexico, I eat everything from crickets to armadillo. In Ireland, Nubia eats endless permutations of potatoes, whether she wants to or not. While at her abuelito's ranch in Valle de Guadalupe, we talk about the ways Mexican and Irish cuisine can be combined. But after an unfortunate accident involving gunpowder, a tractor, 12 fighting cocks, and a couple bottles of whiskey and tequila, we decided to take another approach. We got our first sign, for there can be no doubt that the mighty Irish tamale comes directly from God, or at least has his implied approval, in Oaxaca, where I ate 18 tamales in 3 days. I was given the ingredients at the Zapotec ruins in Monte Alban on the steps of the observatory, but I got shit-faced on mezcal and forgot. The vision came to me again, this time in the jungle near Chukumbilshunan. This is what the vision said to me. The mighty Irish tamale should be hot, easy to eat, and taste good. That's it. It was kind of a shitty vision. So this is what you do. The night before your tamale making adventure, place a large corned beef in a crock pot. Don't trim the fat, as it'll help hold the roast together. Add a bottle of Guinness for flavor. Irish food has a reputation for being bland. Not anymore. Dice 4 dried chili peppers and toss them in the pot. If your corned beef came with a seasoning packet, throw that in there too. My wife and I use a concoction of spices we found in a Gerber baby food jar with no label at an outdoor market in Campeche for 10 pesos. But if you don't have any of that, add a half teaspoon of ground chili powder. If you have a big piece of meat, consider putting the cabbage, carrots, onions, and potatoes in a second crock pot. Go ahead and top it off with more Guinness. Now, you're probably thinking that if you leave a potato in a crock pot soaked with Guinness for 12 hours, you're going to end up with mush. That's exactly what you want. Turn the beef over every few hours to prevent it from drying out. Add Guinness as needed. Prepare the corn husks by soaking them in warm water. Before you go to bed, separate the husks and set them out to dry. Now get a good night's sleep. You're going to need it. The next morning, your house should smell like a Knights of Columbus assembly hall on St. Patrick's Day. Trim all the fat off the meat, cut it into slices, and shred. The beef should have the same consistency of machaca, only redder. Bring the masa to room temperature and knead it on a butcher block. Sprinkle in a quarter cup of rice flour and knead the masa some more. Repeat until all the rice flour is gone. The masa should be firm but cooperative, like the elastic in your underwear. Take the masa preparata and spoon it onto the husk. Use the Guinness broth to make it more malleable. Spread the masa almost all the way out to the edge, and then add the corned beef, potato mush, and a dollop of horseradish. Roll the tamale up tight like a gift from the gods. Congratulations. You've made your first mighty Irish tamale. Now invite all of your Irish and Mexican friends over for a bicultural hullabaloo. Say salud to St. Brendan, shlanta to the San Patricios, and cheers to my beautiful wife, Nuvia, who puts the mighty in my tamale.